Soup.
Soup. Oh, crap.
No, don't crap in the middle of the show. That would be weird, man.
No, I forgot that a bunch of extra junk running in the background. Just trying to close it now. Is this the one? No. No, it's not. Yeah, after this show, please remind me to just turn off my work laptop for the night. Because it's cranking like crazy. I'm not exactly sure why. So I'm going to give it a break.
Probably a fair idea. Well, my computers have been cranking, mining crypto for the last month.
You've been mining crypto?
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
I should be making about $50 a month.
Attaboy.
Why not? I like contributing to the destruction of the earth and useless uses of energy. Right. That's weird. Oh, you all went down there. What's annoying?
Hold on one sec.
Ooh.
Oh. Okay. Just enough time for me to make my drink. 1 second. All right. Ooh. Oh. Should probably get my laptop with all the topics, shouldn't I?
Mm-hmm.
Hello there, ladies and gentlemen. We'll have plenty to talk about this evening. I promise you that. Making my drink. Oh, damn it. It was a twist top. And I went and found a bottle opener. Damn it. And so I get repaid for my stupidity with way too much head. Great. All right. Now let me just get the whiskey so I can complete the carbon. And I do want to point out that whiskey does not have to be brown. But it usually is. Because this whiskey is going to be clear. Because it wasn't aged in a barrel.
The clearest of whiskeys.
It's because it wasn't aged in a barrel. Just in case people are wondering. All right, let me close this because I know that's going to pop up random stuff. Close this because that's going to pop up random stuff. Close this because this is going to pop up random stuff. I have a lot of stuff that pops up random stuff. All right, kids, let's do this drink and then we'll start the show, shall we?
You're feeding your kids liquor too? I approve.
I
wouldn't judge. I'm just saying.
Here we go. Cheers.
Cheers, good sir, to the life, liberty, and the pursuit of alcohol everywhere.
Oh my God, it's the best.
Nom 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 nom. Do you feel better now? Is your life more complete than you ever knew was possible?
Well, I just headbutted the desk, so you tell me.
Are you concussed sufficiently for the show now?
You tell me.
See,
I'm putting a lot of pressure on Zelius. That's the way the show should start.
No, the brain is stopped. I must have you do it all now, sir.
No.
No? Okay.
All right, kids.
I mean, I'm referring to your brain. My brain's fine.
Uh-huh.
Well, is it? What? Huh?
What?
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 I'm so confused. What's happening?
Who? What? No, what?
Who, why, when, where, how?
I don't remember.
Oh.
All right, kids. So I'm just going to give you fair warning. The show is going to be getting a little different. It's going to end a little different. And I'll explain it to you once the show begins.
Excellent.
In but a momento. If I can actually open up all these dang things. God, I wish my iPad hadn't shut the bed. Okay, let's do this. All right, kids. We're going to start right off the bat. There's not going to be an intro. And I'll explain why in a second. So, Zelius, you ready?
Yeah!
All right. Because I'm not going to mute you this time, Zelius, because there's no music to go in. You ready? Look a little happy.
I'm sad that there's no music.
All right. So here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Me. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another Dish Ultra Confusion Thursday Night Hangout.
This is me being happy. Yeah!
Ladies and gentlemen, I, of course, I'm your host, Charlie, and I'm joined once again by the prolific counter himself, Zelius.
What's up, good sir of the Charlie of the Ultra Confusion?
Hello, Zelius. Real quick, ladies and gentlemen, this is, of course, the Thursday Night Show. The Thursday Night Hangout, a weekly live show where we try our best to cover the topics most important to you. If you haven't submitted your topic, question, etc., have no fear. All you got to do is drop it in the chat, be it on Facebook, YouTube, or on Twitch, and we'll try to add it to the show. If we unfortunately run out of time, we'll add it to the beginning of the very next show. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, let's jump into the show. So, how many times can Charlie say show?
Show. We are a show.
So first off, you may have noticed there was no video intro this time. And you may have noticed, and you may notice at the end that there will be no video outro of the show.
What?
No. So I don't remember how long we've been doing this current intro outro. But it turns out that someone decided to copyright the music.
What?
Yep. So
No, not cool, man.
we've now lost the ability, and the wonderful, mysterious magic rumor of if it's less than 10 seconds, you can't copyright it, which is total bullshit. So we are without intro outro. Have no fear, though. I am working with a really long-time fan of the show to get us a unique, one-of-a-kind intro and outro for Ultra Confusion. It's going to come very, very soon. So
Nice.
I got to sample a little bit of where he thinks we should go with it, and I liked it, so let's see where it goes. But for today, at bare
You're
minimum for
saying-
today, there will be no intro or outro for the show.
So it could be new and approved music licensed for Alt Confusion's explicit use.
Yes,
Nice.
indeed. So
That sounds like a winning combination.
So let's start off the show with something super duper important, because I know Zelius is going to talk about it for the entire show, and that is, if you were waiting to play the game Lost Ark for free, you could start tomorrow.
Indeed, February 11th is indeed tomorrow, unless you were like me in your early founder pack and you started February 8th. And I've been playing it the last 3 days up until about 7:35 today.
So the question that's burning in everyone's mind, Zelius, is which founder pack did you go? Did you use the bronze, the silver, the gold, or the platinum?
Definitely just the bronze.
Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, for those out there who don't know, the bronze is the $14.99 version. I'm assuming that he bought it through Steam.
Yes.
And of course, that will get you a head start, a founder's exclusive pet, 30 days of, what is that, crystalline aura?
Yes.
And
Basically
a
the in-game
founder's
premium
title.
currency.
Huh?
Basically the premium in-game currency
Uh-huh.
for like skins and other stuff.
So for those of you out there who may not know, let me tell you about this Lost Ark game. I know that Zelius could probably tell you better, but I'm going to do it anyways, because...
Do tell us, sir.
All right. Embark on an odyssey for the Lost Ark, and in a personal story that will lead you through a world of endless depth. Whether you want to play solo, in groups with friends, or matched up with other adventurers in the world, there's an epic adventure waiting for you. Put your teamwork to the test with dungeons and raids. Compete against other players in PvP. Travel to distant islands in search of hidden riches. Face packs of enemies and colossal bosses in the open world and more. There's something for everyone in the immense world of Lost Ark. Choose from diverse advanced classes. Swap as you go to change your style and experience. Explore 7 continents, hundreds of islands, and all the seas between them. Engage with interesting and varied cultures, befriend or battle magnificent beasts, and dive into immersive lore. Lost Ark offers easy-to-learn features with unexpected depth and room for customization within the tripod system. Lost Ark's diverse advanced classes invite you to explore until you find the fighting style that's just right for you. Then, you can unlock 3 tiers of customization for each of your abilities, giving you control of your combat style. The same goes for other features. As you continue your journey, you'll find non-combat skills, crafting, guilds, and social systems, and other rich features that bring the world alive. Whether you want to skim along the surface or dive deep into the details is up to you. And just for those who are very curious, the current classes that are available for you are the warrior, the martial artist, gunner, mage, and assassin. So, okay, warrior. So that's like, I think that's warrior is like every single thing. Your martial artist, that's going to be your monk. That's going to be your
Soul Fist is your strapper.
Yeah. Your gunner is going to be your ranger.
You have a ranger, you have a shooter dude, I forget the name of it, and then you also have an artillerist.
Then you have the mage, the magic user, and then the assassin, which is kind of your thief, your whatever.
Yes.
Your
Demon
flanker.
Hunter.
So, Zelius, tell us about your experience, since I'm sure you've been playing.
Well, so far, I already have 4 alts because I definitely have altitis and cannot decide on what to play. And I mean, it's a MMO in the form of an action RPG. So most MMOs are either in the form of the World of Warcraft version or Final Fantasy 14, where it's the, you take out 1 or 2 mobs at a time type of deal, and your tab select and that kind of stuff. Or you have the Tryon Worlds type, where it's the, action RPG combat style. Whereas this combat style is much more in the vein of like a Diablo or a
The faster
Path
you
of
can click, the
Exile.
faster you can attack.
Yes, but it's the true hack and slash RPG style.
Controller or no controller?
What's that?
Can you play gamepad or no?
I have not done the gamepad yet.
Can you?
Yes, there is the option. And I think it depends on the class, honestly. So the hardest part I'm honestly having is most of your cooldowns are between 5 to 20 seconds, and you have 8 abilities that you kind of need to use repetitively. And like keeping track of those 8 with the cooldowns is actually a bit overwhelming at times. So kind of keeping track in that, and depending on your class, like, so for instance, like I'm the sorcerer class is kind of what I've been maining. It's more of a click and point. Like I'm going to aim my lightning locust attack to this point on the map.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to like hit S key, move your cursor to the right place, and right click. Versus like a berserker, which is the two-handed warrior, which just goes pew pew. I'm going to smash your face in.
Does a berserker really go pew pew and then smash your face in? It's more like some yeah, exactly. Some groans or grunts that you don't understand, and then the axe splits your head open.
So I think with the sorcerer, it would not work well with the controller because you need to like move the cursor to where it needs to aim. Mm-hmm. Whereas I think it's something like the berserker, I actually do want to kind of try the controller because it's very much you aim your character in a direction and you just press the attack button of whatever your skill is going that direction. Mm-hmm. So I think, depending on the class, may also lend its... The game was clearly not like Final Fantasy XIV, where it's built from the ground up with the controller in mind, which is fine. But I still want to try it out just to see how does it work with some of the classes. Probably more than I would assume the melee classes would probably work better, to be honest. Mm-hmm. So far I'm liking it. It's the story is trash. I'll be honest. It's definitely nothing right home about. It's very typical hack and slash. Oh, there's a story of some big evil guy lurking in the shadows. And yeah, he's evil because he's evil. Yeah, that's the story. I'm going with it.
There's a bad guy there.
Pretty
he's
close.
Doing bad things. You got to stop him.
Yeah, I do kind of laugh because like you start off in like the holiest city in all the world. And like it falls to one guy. I'm like, wow, they have really great defenses here in this most holy city of the world.
Because they believe their God will save them.
Yeah. So yeah, like a level 1 guy can save this entire city from annihilation, whereas all these guards could not. It seems like a terrible defensive strategy, but that's okay.
Let me guess here. So you got a bunch of bumbling bumpkins who are guarding the city, thinking no one would be stupid enough to attack it. And then when someone attacks it, they basically fall on their own swords because they don't know which end is the pointy end. And you have to come save the world from ineptitude.
I mean, the attack just kind of happened. Like, he didn't even fall on a sword. It's just like, oh, you're in a dungeon. The city was attacked while you were in the dungeon.
While you were in the dungeon?
Yeah.
Isn't that convenient? Your best hope to survive is in the prison because he decided to wink at the barmaid a couple too many times.
So the combat's good. I like the combat. And each of the classes are very distinct in their play style. I'll say that. And there are the 15 classes, which there will be tons more. If there's one thing that the developer is known for, apparently, it's releasing content at a rapid, quick pace.
But is it solid content? Because there's quite a few companies out there who will basically throw patches at you every 15 seconds, but they don't test them.
I mean, everything I've read about like the end game and the additional content they keep on releasing is that, yes, it is solid content. Right. And there's already like a couple of classes that like are open, like for instance, like the summoner. There's a summoner class, which is not in the North American release. And
sons of bitches.
What's that?
The U.S. can take on all the classes, okay? Jesus, man. You don't have to hold our hands. We're not
You would
going
think
to.
so.
We're not going to faint because of extra classes.
So they already have content that should make itself pretty quickly, I would think, to the United States or to the North America, I should say, because it's all the NA, not just the US.
And now here's the fun thing. What is considered NA?
North America.
Not okay. Canada, Mexico, Iceland,
I would assume so.
Alaska.
I don't actually know.
Nova
I didn't do
Scotia,
that much research, man.
Jamaica.
Well, let me put it this way. It was, up until now, it was only in Korea and Russia.
Oh, Lord. What about
So I
Europe,
don't
man?
know what NA actually is defined as in this case.
Yes. And this is actually, for better or for worse, is going to be like the theme of the show is what is your interpretation of what, like North America. What exactly is North America? To the world, to gaming servers, it could be a lot more than what you think it is, or a lot less. It's 48 of the United States, okay? They just didn't give it for Alaska, or Hawaii. No, I'm kidding. I don't know. I'm just bullshitting.
Okay, so according to this, the NA release also was a European release too.
Aha.
Which makes sense. Yeah.
See, told you.
The Lost Ark is released for North America and Europe on Friday. So, yeah.
So, once again, ladies and gentlemen, if you did not buy into the Founders Pack, you get to rev your engine starting tomorrow.
Well, no, yeah. And from what I've seen too, is like the paid subscription, totally not necessary. You get some perks like free travel and faster experience type of things, but some games, their perks are I remember Guild Wars 2, for instance, was inventory space.
Guild Wars 2 was pay.
But there was also additional pay things you could do too.
Oh, well, yeah, you could buy additional space, but...
And some of those things were almost necessary. Another one was Dungeons and Dragons, DDO.
Oh, Jesus, yes.
Same thing, where you had to do the pay to be basically functional in the game.
Didn't they lock you out of one of the key mid game areas?
I think with DD, I mean it's been years since.
Oh my God, your cat just committed suicide into a box.
It's the box of snakes. From what I remember, you get the content for free, but the newer content areas are paid, almost like mini DLCs that order to be on the cutting edge you have to buy. I think is correct.
Well, it's kind of
correct. I don't know if it is anymore.
In a weird way, it is kind of like a demo mode where you're getting a base version. If you want to really get into the game, you got to pay. But I would be very hesitant if you would have to then start paying to open up each individual city.
Whereas it seems like from what I've seen, everything in Lost Ark, you can completely play free to play and honestly be just fine.
Gotcha.
So it's one of those where models for everyone, basically.
There you go. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, since we're on the wonderful topic of different countries, let's talk about the fact that there is a game series that's been around for a very long time now called The Sims. It's basically you playing God. You get to control the life of a single person or an entire family. You get to design their house. You get to decide their work schedule, all that stuff. And of course, as The Sims, where Charlie plays God. No. Dude, I can't stand... Look, here's the thing. I like building the... Don't get me wrong. I've played The Sims. I've played quite a few versions of The Sims. But I end up basically turning off the price limiter and then just building a house. And then just shoving a family in there and just letting them live. I don't interact with them. I don't do jack shit. I'm just interested in building them a house or a death trap.
I'm honestly not familiar with any part of it.
I did look. There once upon a time, and there's probably still there's a website out there that basically tells you the most gruesome ways to kill your sim. And I will fully admit, I did do one of them. I did build a pool and then take the ladders out of the pool so they couldn't get out, just to see what would happen. And I still feel bad about it to this day.
How bad do you really feel, sir?
Not as bad as the people who literally build a humongous room with a bunch of Sims in there, and then put a toilet in the middle of the room, and then build a wall that they can't get to, and then there's no way to exit the house. So they dance around needing to go to the bathroom until they die.
Well, that sounds terrible.
But as we know, there are individuals out there who thrive off that stuff. But anyways, that's besides the point. The story that just broke about The Sims is that in the fourth version of The Sims 4, they, of course, have a shit ton of DLC. In the latest DLC, called My Wedding Stories, that is coming out on February 17th, so in next week, it will not be coming out in Russia at all. They're not going to give Russia a special version of it or a watered down version, which is usually the case. There is not going to be this DLC is not going to be in Russia at all. And here is the following statement that was produced by EA. Yesterday we introduced The Sims 4, the new Wedding Stories game pack, and along with it, to Dominique and Camille, a couple whose love knows no boundaries. Today, we want to explain the decision we've made to not release this pack in Russia. Over the years, you've delighted us with the way your Sims have found love and celebrated that love through weddings in our base game. You've also shared with us your eagerness to walk down the aisle, have your Sims take their seats, and shed a tear of joy as you made a lifelong commitment. When we set out to create My Wedding Stories, this was the vision we had for our global community. The joy of finding love, celebrating that love, and telling stories that have meaning on a personal level. Imagining the stories our players will tell with our packs is at the heart of everything we create. For My Wedding Stories, we were excited to introduce to you Dom and Cam. Their love story reflects the lived experiences of so many members of our community and team. As we move through our development and brand storytelling process, we became aware that the way we wanted to tell Cam and Dom's story would not be something we could freely share around the world.
Aww.
The ability to tell stories, any story, is at the core of what we do at The Sims. Holding back Cam and Dom's story meant compromising the values we live by. We are committed to the freedom to be who you are, to love who you love, and tell the stories you want to tell. So what does that mean for you, our players? We are steadfast in upholding that commitment by shining a light on and celebrating stories like Dom and Cam's. So we have made the decision to forego the release of My Wedding Stories, where our storytelling would be suspect to change because of federal laws. Regrettably, that means that members of the Sims community in Russia will not be able to purchase this game pack. To our Simmers around the world, we are grateful to have you in our universe. Now, if you did not figure it out, Dom and Cam is an LGBTQ plus story, which is a big no-no in Russia. Russia has a lot of homophobic laws, and so instead of compromising that piece of the game, they decided not to release it. Now, I'm very surprised that they're only listing Russia, because I know for a fact that there are several other countries out there who are going to, if they have not already, they're going to lay the smackdown because they are about as homophobic as Russia is.
Unless for whatever random reason, the game that The Sims is released in, they don't care as much about The Sims. I mean, it is possible that Russia already let them know that this will not be happening, and maybe the other countries just haven't cared. I don't know.
I believe I would say that they do. They don't. There are. I mean, and Zelius is very aware of this. I'm basically, I'm preaching to the choir. There are very, 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 very many countries out there who believe that even the mere mention or thought of something that they have decided is not normal can cause ruin upon their entire country, such as forbidden love, two women loving each other, two men loving each other, a woman and a goldfish loving each other. Who knows? The last one, I'm sure some country has a problem with. I don't know, but look, at the end of the day, look, this is Charlie's stand, and this may not be Zelius' stand. This may not be any other Alter Confusioner stand, but love is fucking love. Okay, it's indiscriminate. It does not decide. There's no rules between genders and races and ethnicities are races, or religions or whatever. If you love someone, fucking love them. I don't care. Love is love, man. If you now, if your love is going on a violent, killing spree, that's not love. That's something else. But if all you do is stare, starry eye into each other's eyes, and and your deal is you know that you can't live without them, go for it.
What if my starry eyes are staring at my daggers that I like to stab into your eyes?
Okay, once again, violence. No.
Oh.
Not violence.
What about kind violence?
Oh, for God's sake. What are you going to do? Smack me over the head with wet noodles? That just sounds disgusting and wrong. Let's
Do
not
you need a room for that?
Oh, Lord. Anyway, look, here's the deal. I understand that people are scared of different things, but love has been around forever. It ain't different, and I'm sorry that it doesn't fit this magical mold that people think exists. It doesn't. Love comes in all shapes, sizes, forms, and everything.
It's honestly quite simple to me. If you don't like that story or feel it is evil, just don't play it.
Yeah, that's the other thing.
It's really not that hard.
That's the other thing that really bugs me is when people have problems with like books or movies or video games. If it's that detrimental to you, you have this amazing thing called choice to just not do it.
It doesn't mean that you have to take not everyone else with you, but apparently it does, because I have to make sure that you know how I feel, that you make me feel bad about myself.
I have to know about how you feel, and then you have to tell me that because you don't feel good about that, I can't do that. Because you obviously don't feel good about whatever, and so I can't. That's ridiculous. Okay, anyways.
You're ridiculous, man.
Whatever. Now, ironically, speaking of foreign nations, I just want this is another side bar here, but I'm going to do it anyways. I don't know what the hell Comcast/NBC is sniffing, but for fuck's sakes, this is the worst coverage of the Winter Olympics I have ever seen in my goddamn life.
Well, to be honest, it's been going downhill for a couple. Well, I say a couple of years. 4 years ago, so it's a couple of years. But it seems like the Olympic coverage, like nobody for the it's progressively getting worse of how people talk about the Olympics in terms of the coverage.
No, the Summer Olympics were fine. Look, Summer Olympics. There's at least there's a couple events on several different channels. There is a channel, and then maybe a second one, and then it's reruns of shit you've already seen 5 times. And then for some dumbass reason, let's throw commercial breaks in the middle of competition. Let's not window it. Let's just block it out. Oh, this person just did a perfect run. They're a shoo-in for silver. Sucks to be you that you were watching the commercials. Ha 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 ha. That's not how you want to drum up support about, a worldwide event. Actually show the damn thing. Take a goddamn page out of FIFA or the World Cup. You don't cut away from the action until after. Look, if there's 3 rounds, have a commercial break after the first round, because those fuckers all have to get back up the slope. All right, there's no. Here's a fun little fact for those out there who don't know. Skiers have 2 pairs of skis. They have one pair of skis that help them get back up the mountain, and then there's a different pair of skis to actually do their competition. Because the skis that they use their competition with are so fucking dangerous that if they're not careful, they will slice themselves in half.
That would be unfortunate. That'd be one way to.
And it's happened a lot. They haven't sliced themselves in half, but I mean, they've like hamstrung themselves and cut their Achilles tendon because they bounced weird.
Well, I'm never skiing again.
Well, you just get a good pair of boots, okay?
Oh, well, it's a good thing I couldn't ski anyway, so it's not really a problem.
But look, it is so embarrassing. Like there are a bunch of like young you want to drum up support. The youth of the world is starting to show up. This is the influx of new talent is starting to show up. And guess what? I got a Geico commercial, the same fucking one for the 10th time in an hour. And so I missed 90% of the goddamn competition.
Billions and billions that they paid for the subscription rights.
It is so stupid. It is so fucking stupid.
Yeah.
You would never do that during an NBA game. You would never do it during an NFL. I would love to see CBS or NBC or Fox or ESPN during a football game, be it professional or college, on a potential game-winning drive, deciding, you know what, we need to do a 25-minute spot for Toyota. There's a good chance something won't happen.
Don't give them any ideas, man.
No,
how much money would it take for them to show a commercial during the Super Bowl during an actual drive?
I don't know. It depends on the Super Bowl. If we're talking about that Super Bowl that ended, 3-2, then they were probably giving away spots.
Well, I'm talking in the modern NFL where commercial spots are millions of dollars.
That was the modern NFL, yes, sir.
What 3-2 football game are you talking about?
There was the what was it? The Titans against the Rams. That was stopped on the 1 yard line.
Oh, that was a great game. What are you talking about?
Yeah, at the end it was, but how high scoring was it? It wasn't.
Defense is exciting too.
No, it's not. No, it's not. That's why if you so much as breathe on the quarterback, it's a roughing the passer.
Okay, so speaking of, it's a game. What do you think of the Super Bowl this weekend?
I'm all in for the LA Rams.
Yeah, that's my team this week. I want freaking Stafford to win a Super Bowl.
Stafford should win the Super Bowl, but that's not why I'm cheering for him. That's not why I'm cheering for the Rams. Because their head coach went to Marist, my high school.
Yeah, that makes sense. That's understandable. I'd like to say it's really hard not to like Joe Burrow.
Dude, that guy's got some swagger. I tell you what.
If he doesn't get both his knees blown out because his offensive line is a bunch of turnstiles,
yep,
he's got what it takes.
Well, I'll tell you this right now. They better take a life insurance policy because Aaron Donald's coming through there a lot. Oh,
it's between Aaron Donald and Von Miller. It could be a rough day back behind.
No, it will be a rough day. It's not. It could be. It will be. Joe will be running for his life.
Well, and I think we've seen he's able to. So it'll be interesting.
Yes. Okay. So, ladies and gentlemen, let me let's move on to the next topic. The next topic is let's talk about the adult animation series that just won't die. Not that it should die. It should never have died in the first place. But it keeps coming back. And that, my friends, is the show Futurama. Futurama is coming back for the third time, ladies and gentlemen. Futurama, of course, was first was first on Fox in 1999 through 2003, and then it got dropped, and then was picked up on Comedy Central from 2007 to 2013, and then, of course, was dropped. And now Hulu has decided that they have purchased 20 episodes that will start airing in 2023. And as of right now, they have the voice of Fry returning, the voice of Leela, the voice of Amy, and the voice of Hermes returning. And there are a lot of rumors that, of course, they're getting the voice of Bender back, which would not be that big of a surprise because the guy behind Futurama, who's also the guy behind The Simpsons, who's also the guy behind the Netflix show Disenchanted, is really buddy-buddy with the guy behind the voice of Bender, who's also the voice of King Zod in Disenchanted. And the reason why I know that off the top of my head is that I was watching the fourth season of Disenchanted today before the show.
I don't even know what Disenchanted is, not gonna lie.
It's like it's got the Futurama humor, but set it back in like medieval times.
Interesting.
It's good. I mean, that's why the fourth season just got released. So it's
doing something right.
It is doing something right. But anyways, so this leads me to the question, TV series that make a return. What do you think about the fact that Futurama keeps coming back, Zelius?
I'm probably a terrible person because I've never watched Futurama. So I don't have much of an opinion. What I will say is I know that Futurama has a pretty freaking diehard audience.
Mm-hmm.
So it's obviously great for them because I know people who like it really like Futurama. So I would definitely say for them, it's great. And it seems like right now, like in general, there's a pretty big, I don't know if revival is the right word, but push for like animated series.
Mm-hmm.
You've seen Netflix, you've seen a lot. I mean, you just saw Arcane, you saw season 2 of Dota, which was nuts. You saw
oh my God.
The other one based on video game, Dragons Dogma.
Mm-hmm.
You got
Castlevania.
What?
Castlevania.
Then on Amazon Prime, you have the one based on, it's the comedic one based on Dungeons and Dragons, Critical Role.
Yeah, that was, oh shoot, I haven't watched that one yet, but I've heard I
heard it's great.
The okay, real quick, Critical Role, it was like, it's a Dungeons and Dragons podcast or video cast.
Yeah.
With a bunch of like really well-known voice actors, and they decided to try to do a Kickstarter for it, and the Amazon Prime goes, we want to help make this even awesomer, and they're like, fuck yeah, and it just released at the beginning of the month, I believe.
Yeah, it just came out. And then you have then you also have like the He-Man ones back on Netflix, going back to that.
Oh God, He-Man Revelations.
So like, yeah,
which is being helmed by Kevin Smith.
And of course, you had the prequel of The Witcher with the wolf. Is that what it was called?
I don't understand. That was like such a letdown. I was like, oh, cool, it's gonna be a series. It was just kind of like, oh.
It could have been more, but I thought it was good.
I wanted more. Damn it.
Well, that's fair. Yes, I would agree with that. So it's interesting that it seems like that's a thing right now, especially on Netflix. It's like, let's get all these, most of them are good too. Like, let's be clear. Like, I mean, they're good. Like, I think if anything, Arcane is the one that surprised me the most in terms of.
I still need to finish it.
Wow. Oh man.
I'm going to be totally honest with you. I'm like, I think like in 2.5 episodes away from finishing it. I think. I know I should, but I keep getting sidetracked by Netflix keeps releasing all of these like true crime like documentaries and docuseries. I'm like, oh fuck, this is messed up. Like, this is how we caught the BTK killer. I'm like, damn.
Well, I got sidetracked this weekend. Was actually on Amazon. Was Reacher.
My wife watched it, and she was like, "This is such an awesome way of washing that piece of shit movie taste out of your mouth, because there's no way on God's green earth that Doofus McDoofus could ever be Reacher. Like the guy they got to play Reacher, who's like a mountain of a man who
He's
doesn't
Reacher.
really, who really, he's not really sociable and all that stuff. He doesn't really give a shit if he's going to hurt you or not. He will fold you into a jigsaw puzzle.
Oh, he makes it very clear on the television series.
Oh no, believe me, Julie told me about the car trunk, and I was like, oh, okay.
Hey, they were at least dead, okay? Now, Reachers, if you're into like kind of any type of action thriller, spy type of stuff, watch it. It's really good. I thoroughly enjoyed it.
The thing, going back to the Futurama thing, I do find it kind of interesting. It's kind of like, it's almost like BBC TV, where they're like, whenever we can get everyone in the same room, we'll give you a season or two, but it's not going to be constant. It's like Luther and Sherlock.
I can see that.
Because the thing is, Futurama, I don't know. I mean, I enjoy. I'm not I'll admit I'm not a diehard fan, but I'll sink a ton of hours into Futurama just because it's kind of fun, goofy, dumbass humor. So I'm totally okay with it. And if they give me more Futurama, yeah, I'm on board. It's just weird that it's like, it's like we're bringing it back. Okay, now we're done with it. Okay, now someone else is bringing it back, because it was Fox for 4 years. Then it was Comedy Central for 6 years. And then it's been a 9 year. God, it's been 9 years. 9-year break, or it's going to be a 9-year break.
Versus like The Simpsons that just won't die.
There was a rumor that they were going to end it, but apparently that rumor was false.
How many seasons is that damn show?
Dude, that thing has been around for over 30 years. It's almost as old as we are, Zelius.
33. Good Lord.
Yeah.
That's insane.
Yeah. Yeah. So, all right. So the question, the follow-up question I have for you, Zelius, is, realistically, is there a TV show that you want more of or you want to return?
Yes. That's
Besides Firefly.
No, okay. Mine is, people think it's lame, but Legend of the Seeker, man. Season 2, The Legend of the Seeker, which is taken off of the Sword of Truth. It's not the books. It's not Ayn Rand as a fantasy series. The season 1, trash, terrible. Season 2, so much fantasy fun. The characters were fun. A couple of badass characters. But it didn't last past season 2. That's like my show, and it's never coming back. I know this. I acknowledge it. It's not even like Firefly, where there's like petitions.
No, there's no more petitions anymore because of all the stuff that's come out about Joss Whedon.
Well, okay.
Everyone's distanced themselves the fuck away from him now.
That's true. Well, before that.
Yes.
Yeah, it's like everybody thought that should come back. No, it's like once it was canceled, it's like, yeah, it's done. That's like my show where I'm like, oh, I wish there could have been more of that. And kind of not too dissimilar from sort of Shannara. They're both kind of these, fantasy books.
I'm sorry. As soon as I saw it was coming out on MTV, I was like, I'm out. I don't care. It could be amazing, but MTV will always, forever be music television.
That's fair. So both of those fantasy series are like ones I loved, I enjoyed. That one only lasted one season also. I'm pretty sure the Source Scenario only lasted one season.
So, okay.
Both of those are ones I wish had stuck around a bit longer. But alas, that's what happened.
So I have a follow-up for you, Zelius, and that is, because you were saying that, this is kind of like a take, or it was based off a book series, but it wasn't really, true to it. Do you think that series can be successful with claiming or being part of a series universe, but really going off on their own and making their own little artsy changes?
Yes. I think the part that killed Sword of Truth was probably that the first season was terrible.
You mean Legend of the Seeker?
Sorry, Legend of Seeker. Yeah, the first season, like, it is some of the worst action I've seen on television series, and I think that just doomed it. Like, you were never going to get to see the rate they did. They still greenlit season 2, obviously, but after that, you just weren't going to get the viewership back after that first season. Sword of Shannara, I thought as an actual show in the acting was actually pretty decent, but I also don't know where it actually showed, like on TV. You know what I mean? Because it came out like a couple of years ago, so I only know, like, I saw it on Amazon Prime, so I don't even know where you would have seen it in the original run, to be honest. Because to your point, it was MTV. So is it only shown on MTV, which I don't know if people actually still know to watch MTV. So my guess is that
not Kardashians.
So that was probably just more of a failure.
2016.
Yeah, more of a failure of how to even watch it. And I think the tricky part is, so look at, like, I think something like Game of Thrones is a perfect kind of example where when you had, and this is kind of for all book series, so when you have the source material and you follow the source material, even if you deviate a little bit from that, you can still do great and wonderful things. I mean, even Lord of the Rings, which is kind of the gold standard for now movie to book to movie adaptations, deviated in certain places. So I think you can be successful in that way. It seems like where they fail, and I don't think it's because of the niche following, because the niche following of books only brings you so far. There's just something about when you have that core story and characters, and basically you don't follow the core story at all, that seems to just not work. There's just something about it.
True.
Yeah, and I don't know, because think about it, that's where Lord of the Rings fell off. Not Lord of the Rings. That's where Game of Thrones fell off a cliff, was when it tried to basically that there was no material from George R.R. Martin. That's one of the things that sucked about The Hobbit so much. The 3 movies wasn't that they made a movie from The Hobbit. It's they try adding random fillers with random love stories and bullshit that were not in the books. So it seems like to me, like when they really take that left turn out of established source material, that's when you start to have issues. Even Harry Potter, for all its faults, the movies still kept pretty close to the source material. I know there's deviations, don't get me wrong, but they stuck pretty close. And I think that's why the movies worked. I think once you start going off the rails, that's where, for whatever reason, the screenwriters and producers just have issues.
Well, I agree with you. I think that with movies is a little bit easier to kind of, because except with The Hobbit, because The Hobbit should never have been 3 movies.
Correct.
It could look, honestly, maybe it could have been 2, but 3, you're just trying to build yourself a castle made of money at that point. But I do think, and I don't think that there's like a certain magical percentage that, will guarantee you success, but I think that there is a certain amount, a certain percentage of going off on your own from the source material where shit just goes bonkers wrong. There was a series on Sci-Fi Channel called The Dresden Files, which is based off the Harry Dresden series by Jim Butcher. Fantastic series. And the thing was, I do want to make this clear too. Having the blessing of the author is not enough. Okay. Jim Butcher's like, okay, yeah, we understand you had to make those changes, to whatever. In the books, Harry Dresden rides around and just like this piece of shit VW Beetle that's literally falling apart. In the TV show, he had a really nice, soft top Jeep.
Yeah.
Where he lived was not where his office was in the books, but it was combined in the show. The major love interest in the TV. Okay, spoiler alerts. I think we're outside of this, and I'm sorry, I'm going to ruin this for people who have not read the Dresden books up to whatever they are at now. the main love interest in the Dresden TV show, Bianca, the vampire, Harry has to kill her almost immediately within the first 3 books because she is a psycho and has to be put down. And instead is we had this lusty love affair that we weren't allowed to talk about in the TV series. I'm like, what the fuck? But anyways, yeah, I think that there is yes, when you get the ability to take on someone else's established property, you're going to get a little bit of artistic licensing. It's just how well do you mix that your licensing in? Are you trying to create something totally different? Which, if you're going to do that, Michael Bay, then don't fucking put the name of the damn thing on there. Transformers. Just say U.S. Army with robots, big explosions, boom, boom. You're going to fill the place because Michael Bay movies with big explosions, boom, boom. You're going to get people. Okay? But don't kid yourself that you're making a Transformer movie when you're not. But we had Optimus Prime. Yes, but where are the rest of the Autobots? Lost. Where?
They have names too, man.
Yeah. Oh, and Bumblebee is a fucking VW bug.
I knew you were going to bring him up.
Those Charger. Bumblebee. Does B look like a Charger? No.
Look,
anyways.
They paid a lot of money for that shot in the movie, okay?
Oh. Whatever. Anyways, look, you're absolutely right. I think that, like reiterating once again, if you're going to take on someone's IP, the purist in me goes, you better keep exactly to the script. However, there are times where that source material is dated. So if you were to try to put it into reality now, or, at the time it was futuristic, but now that we are ahead of that futuristic number, you got to make it a little bit more believable for them to be, being in the year 2022. I'm okay with that.
Well, I think that's why I'm also not usually, I know we've asked this before, but for the most part, when there's always that conversation of book to movie adaptation,
mm-hmm.
It's not something I clamor for. I think of my favorite, usually fantasy books, and the reason I like them is because they're the written format, creativity, and imagination, and all those good things, and they work perfectly in the book. So for me, a lot of times, I just don't need or have that even desire to honestly have a translation from the written form to movies. Just doesn't really appeal to me. I think maybe in part because we've seen how many abominations there are, and in part because one media format doesn't necessarily need to be translated to another media format.
Agreed.
It's just not a thing that I need to have happen. It's just another good example is I think everybody forgot to actually exist is the Black Tower.
Yeah, we're not talking about that.
It doesn't actually exist, which sucks because
it exists more than the Dragon Ball Z movie. How about that?
Well, that and not just Dragon Ball Z, but the waterbender dude.
Avatar.
Yeah, Avatar.
He's not a waterbender, he's an airbender. God, Zelius, come on. Jesus, you're supposed to be a nerd. Here's another thing, ladies and gentlemen, for folks out there who are somehow sheltered enough not to know this. Being a nerd does not mean you know everything nerdy, okay? I will tell you a quick story about my first time going to Dragon Con. I had been to PAX, which is the Penny Arcade Expo, where I was surrounded by my video game and webcomic and board game nerds, and I felt like I was home. And then I was like, Dragon Con, it's a nerdy convention. I'll fit in just fine. Turns out my nerddom/fandom is about the size of a quarter in comparison to Dragon Con's nerddom variety, which is about the size of an extra large Papa John's pizza. So being a nerd does not mean you can cover the entire gambit. It's impossible. Don't try it. you'll kill yourself in the process. I promise.
What a worthy cause to die for, though.
I think I would be more concerned that in the attempt to try to understand all fandom, you piss off some fandom and they would take you out. Like
well, then
Hitman style.
You're doing your job, sir.
Like the bronies would bury you in that wind tunnel between the AT&T building and the Fox.
And the furries would come sleep with you.
I don't want them there. Anyways.
I can always get you a tail for your birthday.
Huh? Oh, Lord. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, I do want to take a quick pause and do a thank you to all those awesome people that help Alter Confusion do what we do every single week by supporting us through patrons. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, let's talk about the amazing friends of the show. And to start it off, as always, once again, ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you about the Indie Cluster. The Indie Cluster is an organization of independent game developers that want to gain exposure by being involved in the community. They collectively journey to popular conferences as a traveling booth to help gain attention for their games. They make partnerships in local communities to bring games to the mainstream mindset. They highlight local, unusual, and rare concepts to challenge the paradigm of the common. They also host events to teach kids and minority groups about game development to hopefully one day enter the industry themselves. For more information, go to indiecluster.com. That's INDIECLUSTER.com.
Indie Cluster.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, of course, the next person / organization we got to show some love and support to is, of course, Noodle Boy Media. Founded in 2015 by Andrew Tran, Noodle Boy Media, previously Watch Kid 47 Media, is your choice for professional photo shoots and panel recordings at conventions. They pride themselves in providing a high level of professionalism, top-notch experiences, and quality services. If you want more information and to view their full list of services, check out facebook.com/NoodleBoyMedia.
Noodle Media.
And of course, the final one that we have to show some love and respect is the man, the myth, the legend, the one who helps with all those aches and pains in your back. That's right, folks. You're talking about Hero Chiropractic. Hero Chiropractic is a unique healthcare practice set up by Ryan Moore. The company's focus to elevate a patient's experience of freedom, creative expression, and joy. They believe that everyone can be a hero and has incredible heroic potential inside themselves waiting to be unleashed. Hero Chiropractic focuses on mobile chiropractic care in the greater Atlanta area. They are committed to healing clients by creating a plan of action uniquely suited for each person. They make that plan of action as convenient and affordable as possible, and most importantly, suited to your individual needs. If you want more information, go to herochiropractic.com. Now, ladies and gentlemen, of course, the one thing I do have to point out to you that is super duper awesome, and we just keep coming back for more because we love this organization. Of course, we were the highest fundraiser for I was the highest individual fundraiser for the specific our chosen hospital, and that, of course, is, ladies and gentlemen, for the 11th year straight, Alter Confusion will be participating in Extra Life. Extra Life is gamers doing what they do best, game, to help sick and injured children at their chosen Children's Miracle Network Hospital. The money that we raise through Extra Life will go directly to Children's Healthcare Atlanta as unrestricted funds. This means that the hospital decides where and how to spend the money to ensure the dollars we raise make the biggest impact in the lives of the kids they treat. So if you have the capacity to donate, please go to extra-life.org and search for Altered Confusion.
Extra Life.
Extra Life. All right, ladies and gentlemen, of course, if you want to be part of the amazing people who help support Alter Confusion with a monthly subscription, or if you want to become a friend of the Thursday Night Hangout, ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you that Alter Confusion has a Patreon. We survive on the love and support of fans like you, and so we have a Patreon page. Patreon lets you, the fans, supporters, lovers, haters, interdimensional beings, demigods, demons, extraterrestrial beings, interdimensional beings, werewolves, vampires, and more to become active participants in the work we love through a monthly membership. This gives you access to exclusive content, community, and insight into our creative process. In exchange, we gain a bit more freedom to do our best work and the stability we need to build an even stronger brand. Ladies and gentlemen, we of course have two tiers currently. There's a $1 tier and a $5 tier. At the $1 tier, which is $1 a month or $12 a year, you gain early access to all our playthroughs, and currently you have access to 2 early access playthroughs right now. And, of course, you gain the ability to take part in discussions that are Ultra Confusion patron exclusive. Now, if you go for the slightly higher tier, and that is the $5 a month or $60 a year, not only do you get all of the goodies that you would have gotten at the $1 level, but you would also gain your name or organization in the thank you section for every single Thursday night hangout. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you can help Ultra Confusion be the best Ultra Confusion that we can be, become a patron today.
And how awesome can we be, sir?
Oh, the sky's the limit, especially since we're going to MomoCon.
Where does the sky go?
No one knows.
But if you don't know, then how will the faithful...
You just keep going, man. You just keep going. It's truly like infinity, man.
To infinity and below.
And around the corner.
Does the corner ever end?
Possibly. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, of course, if you do not want to do a monetary or financial support of Ultra Confusion, but maybe perhaps you would like to give something to Ultra Confusion to show off the show, or you would like to feed the Funko Pop habit or whatever, what you could do is you can mail it to the following address. You can mail it to 1551 Dunwoody Village. That's Dunwoody Village Parkway. This is super duper important. Number 88.
How important though? How important? I'm confused.
Super duper important. That is after the 1551 Dunwoody Dunwoody Village Parkway. Put number 88276. Without that number, it will not make it to our P.O. box and will be delivered back to you. The city is Dunwoody, once again, Dunwoody. State is Georgia. Zip code is 30338. And I'm going to let everyone in on a little secret. If they keep trying to dick me over, I will change my address for a different P.O. box.
Oh, dear.
But if you want more information on that story, you'll have to ask me offline.
Does anybody know how to talk to you offline? Like, isn't the online tubes the only way of communicating with the Charlie?
You can catch me on any of our gaming streams, which, of course, are Tuesdays and Sunday nights from 8 p.m. to 11 p.m. Or you can hit us up on Twitter, which is, of course, Ultra Confusio.
Without the end, because the end would...
break the internet.
Oh, dear.
Of course, you can always leave a comment on our YouTube channel, which is Ultra Confusion LLC, all one word. Or you can just hit us up on Facebook, which, of course, is facebook.com/alteredconfusion. Or, hey, crazy thought, go to www.alteredconfusion.com and comment there.
So many options.
Indeed. You see how sneaky I got there? I gave you all of our social media information because you're not going to see it at the end of the show because we don't want to fight a copyright infringement because somebody decided, oh, by the way, the music we put under no copyright music, we decided to copyright. So, haha.
Sucker.
I guess they're like, wow, Ultra Confusion has hit some sort of metric that requires us to take credit for our song because we're getting love and support for that 18 seconds of our 5-minute song. Woo! All right, so we have a time for one more quick story, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
So, question for everybody out there, and that is that we have all these crazy ass rating systems, right? We got these like 1 out of 5 stars. We got 0 to 100. We got 0 to 10. All that stuff. Personally, Zelius, what is the lowest mediocre score that you're willing to go? shot, be it a book, a movie, or a video game?
I'm pretty shallow. And if I'm looking at rankings, it probably has to be at least 4 stars.
Okay, so let's say, okay, so 4 star. Let's say if it was 0 out of 10, what would be the bare minimum for 0 out of 10?
8.
I'm almost right there with you. I'll go for a 7. It dips below a 7, and it's got to be a subject matter that I will just go, fuck it. I don't care. I'm interested. I'll check it out at least a little bit.
Now, what I do find probably just as important, though, especially on Steam, are what do the reviews actually say?
Does it look like they were paid?
Yeah.
And did they lie when they said, I got this product for free?
Well, the tricky part now with like video game reviews, though, is they change. Like, so if it's, especially with like every game is on early access at some point released. So like, did the reviewer review it like 6 months ago when it was in the alpha beta version, or is it the more modern version? So it becomes a little bit more tricky with video games. And then whereas on books, it feels like I see a lot of like this lit RPG stuff that's reviewed by, it looks like basically the author's immediate family.
No, it's the author's buddies. Lit RPGs, it's literally, you know what lit RPG is, right?
Yes.
Okay, for those not in the know that may be picking this video or podcast up after the fact, Zelius, why don't you tell us what lit RPG means?
So from what I know, I actually don't really read lit RPG myself. It's not really seems like my cup of tea, but basically it's a RPG role-playing game set in the context of a book. That's what I've read about it without having actually read it. And I think part of the reason is because every lit RPG that's recommended to me, basically, it sounds like it's the same exact book. I'm a hero sent on a big quest, and I am unlike any hero ever seen before. And then, like, every review is like, this is the best book ever written on the face of the planet. P.S. I'm their mom.
I'm their mom's brother's son's daughter's cousin.
And so, and I know I'm probably being incredibly classist here and gatekeeping, but to me, lit RPG just reads to me like, I've never written a real book, basically, so I'm trying to do something.
But
which is probably a very elitist way of looking at it. I fully admit it without having read them. I don't know. It's just something I've never dove into.
For me, lit RPG always feels like someone decided, you know what? Our campaign we played for Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition sounded pretty cool, so I'm just going to write the story based off of that. And to me, it's just kind of like that it might be an amazing story, but it's one of those, it's unfortunate, but it's one of those you have to be there to get it type things. Because part of the beauty of having a successful campaign for a pencil and paper RPG or for a board game or card game, whatever, is that the actual, you know, the charisma or that pours off or the facial expressions of the people around the table. Simply telling the story doesn't give you that full feeling. And it also, I will fully agree with Zelius, it's not really what, I'm sorry, but it's not what a real author would do. It's like, I'm going to take, you know, this amalgamation of events that happened that was really cool. It's almost like nostalgic. Like it in your brain, you go, oh my God, that was an amazing campaign. In your brain, you go, it's amazing. And then it's kind of like if you were to go back and play some of your favorite games from like 10, 15 years ago, you're like, oh shit, was it really that bad of a story? It felt so much better.
Yeah. So, and I think part of it too is I have like such a list of like more established still fantasy and sci-fi series and books to read, where it's like, I'm good. It might be part of it too.
So there is a video game out there which of course has had I think it came out in 2019. Lots of people love it. Big name behind it. The game is called Death Stranding.
I've heard of it.
Yes, it's got Norman Reedus as the main character. There's got Lindsay Wagner's in there. It's an interesting story. Don't get me wrong, but for fuck's sake, oh my God, the entire game mechanic is you go from one place, you pick up a bunch of boxes, you precariously perch them in your sack on the back, and you try to get to the other part. The other thing, you got to dodge people who are going to try to beat the shit out of you to steal your stuff. And oh, by the way, there's some kind of like supernatural shit that's happening that if you're not careful, they'll pull you under and kill you. So literally, it's like apocalyptic mailman. That's literally Death Stranding. That's
Mailman. There's a game I haven't thought of in a long time.
But this is like Kevin Costner Mailman, okay? Where literally it's a lot. It's like a lot of fucking walking, and a lot of fucking trying to control your balance. I can't tell you how many times like, oh, you're about to tip to the left. Try to compensate. You're like, I'm just trying to walk a straight line, guys. Just let me just walk that straight line. Yes. Have I put a shit ton amount of time in? Yes, I have. I'm not gonna deny that. But it's one of those where I really won't have accomplished much, and like 2 hours will have passed because it just took for fucking ever for me to walk from one city to another. And like, but what about the vehicles? Well, the vehicles aren't always available. And even if you have the vehicle, sometimes the terrain is such shit that it's more trouble than it's worth. And oh, by the way, this is not really a spoiler because you're going to learn it soon enough, but you're going to be making grenades that are based off of your pee, your shit, and your shower runoff. Okay? Have fun.
There you go.
I have ruined it for everybody. No, I haven't. But oh, by the way, if you are curious to see what the two games that are currently in the early access playthroughs for those that are patrons, that of course is The Shady Side of Me and The Man of Medan, which is the first of the Dark Picture anthology. Which is literally, it is, I think I said this before, but it gave me it's the closest vibe to Heavy Rain that I've ever had to deal with. Ooh. And I just like Heavy Rain, I had everybody until the end and I fucked up. Okay. Oh. Now there's supposed to be a total of 7 or 8 games. Now they've only released, I think they just released the 3rd. Or maybe they're about to release the 4th. But the second one, I'm going to start playing, and I'll record that, and that'll, of course, be your next early access playthrough. It is really a storyline filled with QuickTime events. And all your fucking decisions. Oh, my God. They're going to affect you, either for better or for worse.
What's the game called?
The first one, the series is called the Dark Pictures Anthology. The first one was Man of Medan. The next one is Little Hope, and that's the one I'm going to start playing probably tomorrow, or over the weekend or something.
Nice.
Now, I finally have a replacement for my gamepad. So if you have been watching me on the streams, you may have noticed that my character will start walking in directions without me consciously being aware of it because my gamepad's been broken, and I know it. I have all these games, so I've got to have them on knees. No, I have no on knees. So, but I was able to scrounge up enough to get myself a new controller. So there's playing Death Stranded with a working controller so much better. because the thing is, once you start losing your balance, you're going to have to use the trigger buttons to try to regain it. And let me tell you, it's really hard to regain your balance when your left analog has decided you're going, let's see, in the northwest direction, even if you're not touching me. So you're trying to regain your balance and you're still kind of just tipping to one side because that's what the controller's telling you to do.
There you go.
Anyways. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, once again, we're going to wrap up here. Unfortunately, you are not going to see the outro because it is now copyrighted. The music's now copyrighted. I am working with someone to fix it, a longtime fan of the show. I totally forgot to ask him what his company name is, and that's why I'm kind of being vague about it. But as soon as I find out, I will plaster it everywhere. And, of course, you will become friends of the show because he would have helped save our asses. But anyways, so ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, I want to thank everyone for tuning in to the Ultra Confusion Thursday Night Hangout. For myself, Charlie, and Zelius, it's been a pleasure giving you everything coming our heads, our mouths, and, of course, our hearts. We'll be back next Thursday for another Ultra Confusion Thursday Night Hangout.
Remember, kids, keep on gaming in the free world.
Amen to that, brother. I'm done.
So, is the show over? I'm very confused.
The show is over. I'm sorry.
Oh,
but
without the outro, it's like...
It's
it
so
goes
weird,
on.
man. It's so weird.
Does it go on until next Thursday? The show never ends?
No. No.
I don't know, man. Weird things have happened.
No. All right, so folks, I have to run. I need to talk to Zelius real quick, but thank you for tuning in. I will be back on Sunday to do some streaming, then Tuesday, of course, a stream, and then, of course, next week.